Who doesn't love Bollywood? It's such a pleasure to have people here with great talent and achievements. We welcome today Miss Uppekha Jain. She is an actor, model, TV anchor, writer, dancer and spoken word artist. She is the first Canadian to essay a permanent role on prime-time Indian television. Let's find out more about her. Hi Uppekha.
Hi Nikha, thank you for having me.
So after winning the pageant in 2010, did you immediately go to India?
It wasn't immediate, but it was, I believe, within the year, because the goal was always to have to do the pageant as sort of something behind my name, because I didn't have any connections in Bombay, I didn't have a godfather or anything, but I do know that it's easier if you, I think, show up with something behind your name. So I thought that the pageant would be a good way to do that. Little did I know the pageant was a very interesting and expansive experience for me as a person. So it all worked out.
Okay, so what was your experience doing the pageant actually?
The experience was very different, Nikhat. I didn't, before I was, I still am a big feminist, and I didn't think that, pageants were the right thing for women to do, young women. And I thought that, objectifying, but I realized that it is, and especially the Indo-Canadian pageants, they really focus on how you project yourself as a person, and your demeanor, your etiquette, your manners, and all of that stuff, which I think are very important, and the ability you have to talk to people, to engage with an audience, and then also to help society. So I loved that philanthropic part of it as well. So it was a wonderful experience, and I think I learned a lot about myself.
Okay, so would you tell us your experience working in Bollywood?
Where do I start? It's been an interesting journey for sure, a very colorful journey, I would say, but obviously not knowing anybody over there. You go through your own set of challenges, I would say, and that really has shaped me as a person, because never did I think, I thought, Chalo, I got my crown and I'm going to land the very first role ever. I'll be like Priyanka Chopra or Lara Datta, whoever it was at that time. But they have a lot of backing behind them and those pageants within India, right?
Yep.
So, and having lived in India and even trained the Miss Indias, I've trained with the Times Group of India and trained their pageant winners to go on before their World and Universe pageants. And I understand what sort of backing they have, and that wasn't what I went with. So it was really carving out my own niche over there. And I was very fortunate to have worked with a lot of very big names. So I got lucky.
Okay, so your most talked role is of Monica Bedi in Saath Nibhaana Saathiya.
Monica Modi, yeah.
Oh yeah, so what do you have to talk about?
It was a very fun role, because I got to play a very spicy, negative character, as they call it, like a little bit of that vamp role. And it was a lot of fun, because I would do all of the things that the good bahu of the family shouldn't do, right? But it was a little, sometimes I would just wonder and I would shake my head, because it was like propagating a lot of the stereotypes of NRIs. NRI girls they're fast and they're chalu and they, they wear skimpy clothing, right? Because I was only in saris in the entire time, but they would give me like sabse chote wale blouses and all of that, because NRI girls dress like that, right? And I'm like, what is this? But it was a fun experience, I would say.
And what other roles have you played and liked the most?
So I just completed a film over here, that's called Rishta, and that is just entering the festival circuit now. It's going to be in the Chang Film Festival, and it won the best trailer over there, and in IFSA and a bunch of others. Inshallah, it does well. That was a role of a Canadian Pakistani girl, and she had never thought about an arranged marriage. And then finally, she comes to a point in her life, maybe early 30s or something, where she's like, well, I'm not married and I haven't really had much luck in love. And what about this arranged marriage thing? And it's just her process there, and the kind of things you think about before about arranged marriage. It's not what it used to be, right? It's not just like, chalo theek hai, you saw this guy's picture and then get married to him the next day. But I thought it was handled very nicely, and that was a very interesting role that I played. And it was sort of it sort of rang true to what's going on in my life in some ways as well. So I really enjoyed playing that. And I played a character in Moods of Crime that was also a psychotic professor, a serial killing psychotic professor. So that was really cool also, because that went into a lot of very different spaces.
So you did a couple of commercials as well.
Yeah,
one was with our superstar Shah Rukh Khan.
Yes.
So what was your experience working with him?
With the King Khan. He is such a thorough, not just a professional, but he just knows exactly what he's doing. He knows what makes him Shah Rukh Khan. And so obviously when he comes on set, he's a different person off set than he is as soon as, you know, the camera goes on. And as soon as the camera goes on, he becomes the King Khan, and you know, his movements are so precise. Everything is like that. But he was such a nice person on set through the entire crew, and I had a chance to work with him. I had a chance to work with Priyanka Chopra on an ad. She's very mindful of everything, and I think, you know, she's done an incredible job, but it's with all that hard work. So that's what I took back from a lot of the big stars that I've worked with, the big celebrities, from Salman to Katrina, Shah Rukh, Hrithik. They all are that perception that Indian actors aren't thorough professionals has got to have gone by now, because they are all very, very into their craft. And it was such a pleasure to work with them.
So when we say spoken word, what does that really mean?
So spoken word is also something that I love to do, and it is the marriage of written poetry and performance, because it's not just poetry. You have to be able to write something compelling, but also deliver it in a way that connects with your audiences. So that's what spoken word is, and I think that it's a wonderful medium to express yourself and then to also engage people in different topics. So that's what I like to do with my spoken word, is to, you know, the Rap Against Rape, which was a few years ago that just went internationally viral, that was speaking up against a lot of the rape culture that was happening in India around the Nirbhaya time. And then I think that having a voice is, or being able to tell your story is very important, especially when you've been given some sort of platform, because there's a lot of girls who look up to you, you know, and a lot of women who are so challenged with all the stereotypes and all the expectations that society puts on them. And to have somebody who has maybe, you know, done a little bit in her life, but can also relate to what they're going through. And I think it's almost the responsibility of people who get a platform to speak. And I love spoken words, so that's what I choose to use it for there are certain issues that are close to my heart.
That's great. So now that you are here in Canada, do you have any plans going back to Bollywood soon?
Bollywood soon. I just came back actually from a trip to Bombay, but it was a very short trip. It was to Amritsar in Bombay. It was a short trip, but you know, I think the life of an actress is wherever her projects take her. So I've now shifted back to Canada. I've been very fortunate to have done 2 films so far over here since moving back. So that's been great. And you never know, if Bombay calls again with something interesting, then I might move back actually. I did have some talks with my agent over there, and there's a lot going on in Bombay at the moment with a lot of web series that are happening and things. So you never know, but I kind of like it over here.
Okay. And now that you're in Tory party, so do you have any political ambitions?
So let's back up a little bit. So I do work at Queen's Park now, which is a wonderful opportunity, and I think that it's very important for people within the community to also serve the community. And, you know, having lived in India and seen what that world is like, I feel so blessed to also now call this my home, my permanent home. It always has been, I should say. But to be here in this world where it is a democratic voice, and so we need to exercise our rights as citizens to get involved, and to make sure that Canada is a place that you want to live, right? And that you are working to make sure that this is a great place for, you know, the next generation to come and your current generation. So I'm working right now with the Conservative Party, the Progressive Conservative Party within the provincial government, and I quite enjoy what I'm doing. Whether that translates into, never say never. That's not what I'm looking at to get into politics in that sphere as an MPP or an MP. That's not what I'm looking at right now. But never say never. I wouldn't be the first Miss India to have done it or anything like that. So let's see what the future holds.
So what is your current role for now?
I am doing, I think, I am very blessed to be able to do a bunch of different things, and while I keep up with my spoken word, and I do that as artistic and creative fulfillment, then I've also acting, and I'm continuing to do that, and hopefully more things will come down the pipeline with acting. But I also wanted to, and I'm also within the political sphere and working with the PC caucus services. So that is a very, very... Oh, and I also teach workshops with the Peel District School Board.
Wow, that's great.
So, you know, I think I keep busy, and gosh knows what else comes down the pipeline, but I'm all about keeping your options open, and whatever the universe sort of, you know, allows to fall into your lap, go with it, because if it comes to you, it's meant for you. So keep going forward. So whatever comes to me, I'll do. As long as it makes me happy, I must say that.
Okay, thank you so much. We loved chatting with you.
And thank you, Nikhar.
Thank
It was
you.
great talking to you.